of all of the different majors: architecture, interior design, construction management, and landscape architecture. So the first thing we kind of need to go over is the 4-year plans for all of you. So you're all going to be starting in your second semester of your 3rd year. So for, I'm going to switch my screen to the 4-year plan for all of the different majors, just so that you can see what you need to take. Does this, once I change my screen, can you see that the 4-year plan for architecture? If you give me a thumbs up, that would be great, or tell me, no, I cannot see that. Perfect. Okay. So for 3rd year students, in your second, don't want that, second semester, you're going to be in your architecture 303, your structures 2, and your building sciences 2. And then we have diversity listed there, but that would be, so this is where you're going to want to check your academic requirements to see what UCore courses you still need. Some of you may need to be enrolled in physics this semester if you haven't taken that yet, because you need to get that complete. But this is where you're going to want to look over either your UCore requirements and see if there's any UCore courses you still need. If you need physics and you haven't taken that, or you can look at possibly taking for architecture some of your supportive electives. And those are going to be any 300 or 400 level course in architecture, construction management, landscape architecture, and what did I miss? Architecture, landscape architecture, interior design, and then architecture. Okay. Next, we're going to go over, let's see, let's do construction management. So construction management, for your second semester spring courses, you're going to enroll in your construction management 333, which is building sciences 2, construction management 356, which is earthwork and equipment, construction management 368, safety and health, and the second half of estimating 2. Then if you need a biological science, again, this is where you're going to want to check your academic requirements to see if you need any UCore. And if not, this is where you could take physics if you need it still, or you could take your upper division business elective, or your upper division construction management, or management 301. All those are requirements. Okay, we're going to switch now to ID. Their third year courses in the spring are ID 333, which is your studio, SDC 473, which is your professional procedures, ID 415, advanced interior construction and detailing, and then ID 460, which is your portfolio and representation. Again, going to look to see if you need any of your any UCore requirements you still haven't fulfilled, you can put there, or you can also take a supportive elective class. Again, those are going to be courses, like I mentioned, for architecture, any upper division architecture, interior design, construction management, or landscape architecture. Okay, then we're going to go to landscape architecture. And their requirements for spring semester of third year is landscape architecture 380. And it has been offered, I believe, in the past, but if it is not offered next semester, you have some options you can take, which are listed below on this sheet too, that you can take in place of landscape architecture 380. Landscape architecture 363, landscape architecture 367, and then a diversity requirement or humanities. Again, you're going to want to check your UCOR requirements and see what you're missing that you can put in there. Also, if you started in landscape architecture and you didn't ever take geology or biology 120 or soil science, those are courses that you'll want to add to this semester too, because you've got space for them. That's if you need them still, or if you've completed all of your UCOR requirements. So I think that's all of them. So we're going to get out of that. And we're going to go back. So we've gone through kind of the 4-year plans, what you need to have for your 3rd year. And then how do I navigate to find out what courses I still need, say, for UCOR? So you're going to want to go to your academic records tab, and that's where you're going to see go ahead.
Academic advising tab.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Academic advising tab is going to tell you how you're going to find what courses you're missing. So in order to do that, you click on your academic progress. Then the next screen will come up, and you're going to, if you have to allow pop-ups. And then you want to click on view the report as a PDF. It's so much easier to read that way. And then it's going to pull up your report. And you'll notice that anything that's not satisfied is going to show up in red. So you know you still need to complete that requirement. And that's where I want you to look to see if you still need any UCOR requirements or some of the requirements particular to your major. Okay. Any questions so far since we've gone there? Because the next screens kind of are information that most of you should probably know, and it would, you know, I don't want to waste your time going over something that you already know how to do. It's basically looking for enrollment dates and that. So I'm going to unshare my screen, stop sharing for a second, and see if you have questions about any of your requirements for your major. And you can ask them, or you can ask them through chat.
I had a question about Math 171 for architecture, and was wondering if anything has changed with that.
Well, no, I mean, you don't need 171.
Okay.
You just need, okay, so you need 106 and 108 to get into physics. So that's the only requirement we have for architecture. But you do have a UCOR requirement that says you need a quantitative math. Unfortunately, Math 106 and 108 don't count as quantitative maths. So what we're doing is we're petitioning, having students petition to use their Math 106 as a quantitative math for their UCOR. And so far I've probably done, I don't know, 10 or 11, and they've all gone through and they've used that Math 106 as their quantitative requirement. So if you haven't fulfilled your math quan requirement, that's going to be the best way to do that. Because we don't want to have to see you take Math 106, 108, and then a quantitative math just to get that UCOR complete. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Uh-huh, you bet. Any other questions about math or physics or anything like that? Oh, that is a bummer. You did Math 105. Did you start out in another major, Maddie?
I came in undecided.
Oh, yeah. See,
so I was getting a lot of UCOR out, but not math.
I'm sorry. That's too bad. Yeah, when you come in undecided, 105 is a pretty standard math class to take. And that will happen, you know, just because a lot of majors, that's all they require.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I also took 103, so maybe I should be a math major.
Really? I think well, you don't need to, well, one thing nice, the Math 105 is going to count as your quantitative math requirement. So that's a plus.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah, really, you won't have to take any more math.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, really, I agree. Any other great questions that you guys might have about math or anything? Yeah, Caitlin? Or Dylan? Or somebody raised their hand. Okay, no problem. So, oh yeah, Emily, how can we help you? Okay, so for ID, you need Math 105. You can take a higher level math. I mean, if you've taken a higher level math and it's a quantitative math course, we'll use that, but you only need Math 105. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and go on then if you guys don't have any more questions about requirements. It's just really important that you look at your academic requirements report. That's really where you're going to see, especially for UCOR, what you still need. Sometimes when it gets farther into the report, there's some mistakes that Treva and I will always go in and adjust. And if you have questions about those, we'll be happy to help you with those. Treva, do you want to add anything?
I always forget to unmute. Not that I can think of right now.
Okay, all righty. So I know you all know where enrollment dates are, but I'm going to share my screen. Those enrollment dates, I don't know if we've gotten a firm date on when those will be placed. Do you know, Treva?
Sometime the week of the 19th.
Okay.
Next week, but the week after. But probably, I don't know if it's the 19th, the 20th, or the 21st.
Okay. So you do probably all know that the schedule of classes will come out on October 15th. So you'll be able to see when courses are going to be offered on the 15th, which is next Wednesday. So enrollment dates will then come out that next week. So your enrollment date's pretty easy to find. You're just going to go into your Manage Classes tab, and then once you go there, you'll see the enrollment date, and you just click on that, and that's going to give you your enrollment date and time. So most of you know how to enroll in classes, so I'm going to just breeze through this pretty fast because it's really not that critical, because you should know all this, unless somebody has a certain question they have. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of really fastly go through it. Make sure that when you do go in to enroll in classes that you pick the right term and the right campus. I guess, Treva, do they have campus up there too?
Not on that, but under Class Search and Enroll, they do.
Okay.
So if you can hear, they don't, but in Class Search and Enroll, they do.
They do have it. So make sure that you definitely put the Pullman campus and the term that it's in, spring term. Otherwise, you're going to get classes that are not going to work. Using the schedule of classes. I love the schedule of classes because I think it's easy to read, and it's one of those things where you can see exactly what's being offered on what campus, and it's all separated out. But you don't have to use it. Again, that'll be out on October 15th. If you're using your myWSU search tools, in that search bar at the very top, you can enter any of the different ways to search for a course. You can put in that course number. You could put in like ID 201 or ID 333, and it'll bring up the course. Treva had a great example of how to use that class schedule of classes while you're enrolling in classes. She said, split your screen, open it, your schedule of classes, and then also have your class search and enroll in. And that way you can just enter that course number right in that search and it'll bring up that class right away. So again, once you enter that information, if you were to only enter, say, Anth, then it would also bring up all the anthropology classes that are being offered next semester on every campus that WSU has. So you'd have to be really careful about what you choose. So you want to make sure that when you go in, be sure to look and see that it is being offered on the Pullman campus, and also when you click on the course that you want, click on the black text, not on the blue. And Treva, I believe, is going to take over from here.
Okay, and then you guys, I mean, you guys have done this quite a few times, so you probably know now. You review your class section, then hit next, or is it submit?
Next.
Next. Sorry, my thing was there. Review and then submit. And then I believe we're in the shopping cart here. So you could validate your shopping cart now. I strongly encourage everybody to validate their shopping cart before a registration. It will give you error messages if there's a prereq you haven't met, if you're on the wrong campus. There's lots of things that validating your shopping cart will do. If there's a prereq you haven't met for an SDC specific class, please get a hold of Julie or I. We've changed the catalog a little bit for incoming students, and their requirements are a little bit different than what your guys's are. So we can override those because you were admitted prior to our changes. So if there's any prereqs and you think that there's a chance that we'll override them, please get a hold of Julie or I so we can help you with that. So everybody, validate your shopping cart. So, so important. After you validate it and your enrollment date is here, go ahead and just get into your classes. You can go in and enroll. Make sure though that your enrollment date, you're looking at the date and the time, because just because your enrollment date is November 10th, if you go in on November 10th at 8 o'clock in the morning and your enrollment date isn't until 10, you're not going to be able to enroll. You'll get an error message that says, I believe you don't have a valid enrollment date. And that's because you're trying to do it a little bit early. I don't know if anybody's ever tried that, but you will get an error message. So here are some FAQs for students that can be found on the registrar's website. And that website is registrar.wsu.edu. And we'll give you information on dropping a class, swapping a class, viewing your position on a wait list. That's pretty important when you get into that third year and you're trying to get a business elective or a CM elective and you're on the wait list. How to order or view your transcripts, changing credits. If you're enrolling in TA classes or special problem classes, sometimes those are variable credit classes. You want to make sure you're in the correct number of credits for that. Also, it will give you the meaning of some of those error messages. So that is on the registrar's website, registrar.wsu.edu. I believe there might be some links to this in our website also, which is sdc.wsu.edu. I'm going to change, Julie, can I share my screen? Because I have a different. I
don't know how this got in here. Am I on the wrong?
That's okay.
Okay, I'm going to unshare.
I'm just getting mine up here. Actually, I'm not sure I'm a host.
Oh, I can make you one.
Oh, are you guys seeing my?
Yep.
Mine?
Yep.
Okay. Slideshow.
I'm sorry. I think I had the wrong PowerPoint presentation up.
Okay, now you guys are seeing that? The university writing portfolio? Do I have it on there?
Yep.
Okay, so the university writing portfolio has changed. Before you had to have a time write and also submit 3 papers. Unfortunately, for those of you that have done the time write, they're not going to be doing that part. And if you've already done it, it's just not something they're going to use. So you have to do this part, which you would have had to do this part anyway, so it's not really a big waste of time. It's now completed on their website through a Qualtrics site. And once you start, you have 1 week to complete it. So when you get started, it's a good idea to have as much information there as you can. You will submit 2 college course writing assignments. Once you submit those, there will be a short series of questions that you'll need to answer on each paper. Then you'll also be required to do a reflection on each submission. So this is going to replace the time write portion of it. Instead of doing a time write, you're going to do a reflection and short answers for each paper. The best part about it is you're not required to have an instructor's signature or a grade on the paper. This spring, they will not be putting holds on for writing portfolios. However, you do know that you still have to do it. So if it's on your to-do, if you know that you need to get there and get it done, if you have 75 credits, you might as well start working on it now and get it done. But remember, once you start, you have 1 week to complete it. After you complete that, then it will like release any hold in future terms from your myWSU. I believe you'll get a message in your myWSU that the submission has been received. And you'll check your milestones once it's all submitted and they've graded it to make sure that you completed that requirement. The website for that is writingprogram.wsu.edu, that University Writing Portfolio. I was just going to say something and I forgot what it was. I don't remember. I'm sorry, you guys. The next screen is the writing program has some really great resources. And I suggest when you're doing all of this, you take advantage of some of those resources. You can go to this website and there's lots of information and resources that you can use. We have the resources at WSU, you might as well take advantage of them, especially now where you're doing so much online. Email etiquette. This is something that's pretty important. And actually, I've got the wrong slide for this one also. But when you're doing an email, make sure that you have a salutation, a subject line, and it's professional looking. There's this really great YouTube that you can watch on email etiquette. You're going to be writing letters for internships, for jobs, contacting professors, asking them for references. You'll also be emailing Julie or I. It's pretty important that you do know your email etiquette and make sure that you're writing professionally when you're sending emails. Here are some helpful resources. Of course, our website, which Jamie does a fabulous job on updating and changing all the time, which is sec.wsu.edu. And also on there under the student resources, you can find links to the 4-year advising plans, the new ones, hopefully the old ones soon also. The ASCC is another good place to look for things. The VCEA has tutoring that's available to all of you because SDC is part of the VCEA. I was just in the chat talking to Jamie because all of you guys started prior to are updating the 4-year advising plan this year. So you're held to the advising plan that we started with when you entered the program, when you were certified into the major. So if you guys don't have one of the 4-year advising plans, they usually look like this, and the ones that Julie had up on the screen earlier, please email Julie or I so we can make sure that you have the correct 4-year advising plan. Jamie's going to try to also get those on the website